Hi, everyone out there in the land of YouTube. Annette Dion. I'm the host and founder of the Psychic News Network, and it's Monday. It's the last Monday in January 2024. We have a lot to get to. Things are just going to be ramping up. They're not going to be slowing down at all this year. More on that tomorrow. We have our Spirit Talk podcast with our resident astrologer Kathy Beal tomorrow, and that's going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern. So mark your calendar and make sure you tap your bell so that you get a notification. So that's tomorrow at 4. Spirit Talk podcast with Kathy Beal. And what else? And on Saturday, speaking of Spirit Talk podcast, Jonathan Glass is returning to talk about how to stay healthy and his new program coming up, which is called the Total Life Cleanse. I started to read his book. It's excellent. More on that later. So things are going to be... I think the reason that I want everyone to be up with their health is because you're going to have to keep up. We're going to have to keep up. We're going to have to, learn how to meditate or meditate more, or, and make sure that you're always eating nutritionally robust nutritional foods, and just really important. Now is the time that if you haven't been on a health kick before, now is the time, because we have to stay optimistic. And actually, when you eat well and you eat healthy, it's easier for your brain to remain optimistic. So definitely tune in on Saturday at noon. We'll be doing a live stream, and then you can always watch it afterwards if you're busy. When there is a few more people here, we'll do a group hug and everything. So yeah, there's that. And the reason that I'm telling you this is I know that there's a lot of people that are feeling really low. I can sense it. I can pick it up. And over the weekend, we lost 3 troops and 3 soldiers. They're all from Georgia, I just heard. And that's been hard. And we lost 2 Navy SEALs, I think it was last week, or a little bit longer ago than last week. And in the face of this, in the face of these really serious, tragic, sad things that are happening, to hear people in Congress, these crazy, stupid people, Republicans, acting so irresponsibly is a little daunting. It's a little hard to take. So while you are here, and before we really get started, let us just take a moment and close our eyes, and we'll take a moment of silence to send love and healing to the families of the members of our military that we have lost. So 1 moment of silence, please. May they not have died in vain, and may we not lose more soldiers. May we not lose more humans across the board. So it is tough. In New England, it's been like the sun hasn't come out in like 5 days in a row. So we're having that like gray, I call them cave days. And we do need sunshine too, so maybe get a mood light or something. Those are helpful. Thomas says, we were born for this. Yes, so that's why I'm reminding you, we all can handle it. We'll all be able to handle it. Just make sure that you keep telling yourself, we will all be able to handle this. Over the weekend, I posted a video that's about 7 minutes long to send healing and peace to the border. So far, so good. Keep that going. There are so many sacrificing their lives for us, and so many have in the name of democracy. So it's working The praying and the intending is working. We just have to know that and keep it going. And please do that meditation to send light and peace to the border in Texas, because that on Friday, Saturday, over the weekend, that felt really, really volatile. That felt very like it could go up at any minute in terms of the potential for violence amping up. So, big difference. Darren felt a big difference. And I just came off listening to Ari Melber a little bit, and towards the end of his show, he had on the spokesperson for the Grammys. And I know that I'm always picking up messages all the time, and I have kind of gotten used to whatever's in the air, I pick up on it because that's just what I do, how I'm wired. And they were talking about the power of music, and I was just posting about the power of music over the weekend, and I also sang you my latest, that's probably my most recent song, which I wrote in November. And then it occurred to me that I have enough songs about democracy to fill an album. So send me good vibes that I can come up with the funds for that, because I really do. I definitely have about 8 songs I can think of that, and I was meditating earlier, and it came to me that I could have an album called Songs for Democracy. So yeah, thank you. I know that these things have to be done. I know you have to kind of go and find what your gifts are and offer them to the world. That's why we have them. You know? Thank you. That's why we have them. I do have a record on Spotify and iTunes. And it's on my website too. Okay, let's do this. I decided to use my dark cards. I'm looking for the box. Magicians. This is what I'm going to do. I was looking at these cards. The Magicians, Martyrs, and Madmen Tarot. By the way, Warren's out to dinner and he won't be here tonight, but I have to remember to do a group hug when we get to 200 people. So remind me, in case I get all absorbed. Thank you for the donation. Magicians, Martyrs, and Madmen. So I've read these cards a few times here. You guys have been with me. A lot of you were with me when I read them before. And I've pulled some of these cards and I've gone, I don't know, they're kind of dark. But tonight I'm like, maybe I'll use them just to read on the loser. And actually, just kind of looking at them earlier, I realized that in a way, when you see how horrible people have been in the past, because some of these people were like mass murderers and werewolves and people that were into like masochistic stuff, and then you go, wow, at least, I don't know, I hope people aren't really like that mostly right now. I'm gonna pull 3 cards about how the loser is doing. How the loser is doing. How the loser is doing. Don't you love it when you watch the lamestream news, if you do, even MSNBC, and they're like, gee, I don't know why no one's talking about I don't know, if Joe Biden's numbers are so low, gee, I don't know why that is. Don't you love that? Maybe if you talk about the actual president. This is I'm reading on The Loser. Well, I have 2 cards here that are indicating that the loser has lost his head. The loser has lost his head. I have 2 cards with the beheadings. E. Jean Carroll losing to a woman, and being up against a woman, being in competition with Nikki Haley, and losing to E. Jean Carroll has got him at his wit's end. He doesn't know. Yeah, we'll get to the drug report. He doesn't know there's not much news that I missed, by the way. Just so you know. He doesn't know what to do. He has lost his head. And this is really about the loser has never, ever, ever, I think this is the first time. I might be, Damon, you're back. We've been wondering. I think that it might be factual. That he's lost his... You just said that about his border plans. He's lost his head. I think it might be factual that he has never been penalized for his crimes. Is that true? This might be the first time. So he can't... I'm going to ask the pendulum, but you can look it up. Has Donald Trump... Well, you're going to have to type in Donald Trump. Has Donald Trump ever been held accountable for his crimes? Will somebody Google that? Obviously, you have computers. Has he ever been held accountable for his crimes? No. Can you believe it? I think this is why people make him the MAGA heads. I think that's why they think he's they think he's a superhero. He always delayed it until they gave up. So no wonder he's losing his head. He can't conceptualize this. He doesn't have the bandwidth. Unbelievable. Yeah, and he's committed some heinous crimes. And the Knight of Cups. I'm seeing the Knight of Cups and I just see him, moving. It's kind of like, if you had two cups and you were pouring water from one cup into the other empty cup, and then you pour water from that cup into the, that's what he's doing with his money right now. He's moving it from one cup to another cup to another cup, and he's trying to fill his cup with money. And he's doing that by drifting. I meant to say grifting. He's drifting too. His head is drifted off. I remembered. It's time for a group hug. 1, 2, 3. Group hug. We're all in this together. We can do this. We can uphold one another to save our democracy. And we are saving our democracy. Yahoo! Ho! He's so not worth our attention. Do you want me to just skip over the topic of him? Because here's the thing. On the one hand, I'm glad that they cover him as much as they do when it's factual. On the one hand, I'm glad that we know so much. Because it arms us with this is what's going on. And it also teaches us about our Constitution. It also teaches us about how the legal system works. I don't know about you guys, but is my candle burning out of control? I have some white candles going for obvious reasons. I never knew what a subpoena was. I didn't study law. I didn't know what an indictment was. I didn't study law. I didn't know about a lot of the Constitution, which, by the way, I've mailed out some of the Constitutions. If you'd like a pocket Constitution, somebody named Tia sent me a bunch of them, and thank you. Write to Grassroots of Democracy, grassrootsofdemocracy@gmail.com. We'll send you a pocket Constitution. Media only covers the MAGA who are trying to sabotage the border bill. They never have a Dem or R who is working to get this bill passed. Not totally, Thomas, because I have seen, depends on what you watch. I'd like to see more reporting on how the Republicans, the fascists, the S&M party, the stupid and mean party are screwing this country. But I have seen some of them interviewed, and I have seen them, the interviewers hold their feet to the fire. So, going back, the loser inadvertently, no matter what we think, and how much we've hated this, and how much we don't want to go through this, and how much we don't want to see his ugly face again, how much we just want him to just be out of the scene, I'll put it that way. As much as we never want to see him again. I wouldn't be here with you if it weren't for his heinousness. We used to call him that. His heinousness. That was Terry's name for him. I would not be involved in saving democracy if things were going swimmingly. There's no way. I would just be doing my life. And now this year is all about saving democracy, and that's my life. Yep, that's it. So I'm going to put recording some songs about democracy right there into the mix. Senator Langford was working on the Senate border bill. They were working on it. They realize some of them that aren't acting like they're in middle school and they're working for Father Putin. Some of the members of Congress that are Republicans, that have brains, I mean, even Crenshaw, for God's sake. And a couple others that you wouldn't, I think one's named Tillis, a couple other of these Republicans that you'd be like, oh my God, they're so Trump, they're so MAGA. But there are some that are getting on board with doing something about the border. They've had to go back and kind of revamp this border bill. And then they have this heinous Mike Johnson, Moses. I shouldn't say that. It gives Moses a bad name. Saying no way. In the meantime, Ukraine is running out of ammunition. And the Middle East is a total mess. And I'm just going to say, I don't throw this phrase around too often. Because, you know, it doesn't need to be thrown around that often. I will say for entertainment purposes only, my psychic impression is that the reason the world is in turmoil right now has a lot of indirect connections to the loser. A lot. As far as Joe Biden goes, what's going to happen with Biden is that the results are going to speak for themselves. And there's got to be a God in heaven that Joe Biden is in office right now. Because, oh my God, if the loser were in office right now, we would be in World War III. That's my sense. Yeah, and I was going on Friday I was going on and on about his connections to Putin and how they're all connected to Putin. He's a menace to our world, absolutely. So, we are be taken over. Thomas, are you having some cocktails? I'm just kidding. Your sentence didn't make sense. Oh, Kathy Veal's in the house. Feel free to share any astrology. Today the moon is it in Virgo? Wait. Today the moon is in? Oh, it's void of course right now. So we can be all over the place. Going into, is it Virgo? Going into Virgo. No, it's coming out of Virgo. What? Can you give us my calendar's confusing. Can you give us the stats for today? Mars planet of push the planet of push, I like that, has not activated Uranus. The wrecking ball has been the wrecking ball has been kicked off. Has not activated Uranus? We'll talk about it tomorrow. The army of the Antichrist. So anyway, so some of them are waking up to the fact of how dangerous this is. Mars has now activated Uranus. Expect the unexpected in a big way. The fact that some of these Republicans, after the tragedy with Iran killing American soldiers, I mean, it amazes me that that's not top headline news. I mean, come on. That they're saying, we need a bomb, we need to take him out. No, that's not responsible. You don't want that in the White House. That's what we had with the loser. And we're all still here, most of us. So I'm going to pull 3 cards. I'm just going to pull 3 cards again on the loser just to see if he's losing influence. Uranus is crazy town. This is what the S&M party is doing is very, very, very dangerous. All of it. So what I'm asking now is the loser losing support? No matter what you think of Nikki Haley, many people that don't agree with what Abbott's doing. We'll probably take a look at that. Please continue to send light to the border and to the soldiers in Iran, in that area in Jordan, and just keep sending light everywhere. Damon's partially here. You're only partially here? Why just partially? Yeah, the Central Park. As far as the loser and is he losing support, the Page of Wands. Okay, so yeah, he has his such a dictator. The cadre of people around. Remember Tim Scott? The other night, in New Hampshire, Tuesday night, when Trump said to him, "Oh, you must hate Nikki." I'm not answering astrology questions. It's Kathy. I'm not the astrologer. Tim Scott. I mean, I need a moment to just see how I can express how it felt to me to see Tim Scott last Tuesday night in New Hampshire grovel the way he did. I had so many different feelings, like, don't you know he's a racist, Tim? It was pathetic. Yes, that was pathetic. That was just, Tim Scott, what happened to you? Are you that desperate? And I'm sorry, if Tim Scott just got engaged, that's his business. So embarrassing. How could he live with himself? The loser is overtly racist and overtly misogynist, and yeah. Anyway, I do see 45 with a little circle of loyalists, but it's not very strong. It's not very strong. He's got Elise Stefanik ogling him. And Elise Stefanik, whenever she opens her mouth, she's not a good liar. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Elise Stefanik, she's a fumbling liar. Some of them are okay at it, with the loser being the one that he's got no shame at all. He's got no filter. He's got diarrhea of lies constantly, the loser. You remember when they used to have Pinocchios, actual Pinocchios with the long nose, when a politician was lying on the news shows, and finally they just gave up? But Elise Stefanik, if you ask me, the woman cannot lie. That's like me trying to lie. I cannot lie. I cannot scam. I don't have that gene. I wasn't born with it. I'm a Sagittarius. It's the bane of our existence. We cannot tell a lie to save our lives, from what I know. I'm forgetting what sign Elise Stefanik is. We did take a peek at her chart, Kathy. Pisces, maybe? She's so bad at it. I'm going to actually, since I'm talking about her, I'm going to keep with the dark cards. She fumbles her lies. Marjorie Trader Green actually is a better liar. just if we're comparing liars, she's a Cancer. Okay, maybe that's why I was thinking Pisces. Similar qualities. I just want to see what's going to happen. So I see she's a Cancer, but that makes sense. I was picking up on Pisces, you know, that water energy. Even Hooker Boebert can lie better. Boy, and she's on the hook. Boebert's on the hook, but we're reading about Elise right now. We're using the dark cards to read about the dark people. Oh yeah, she's trying to steal. She knows all she's thinking about is I need to steal power. And then there's, the sword of truth is going to come for her. The Three of Wands. Oh, things are brewing against her. Things are brewing against Elise. I'm trying to remember now that I'm seeing this. Is she under investigation for something? I get that Elise Stefanik is under investigation for something. I'm not sure what. Do you guys know what? Anybody know? Can somebody help me figure out what I'm seeing here? Because she's in legal hot water, Elise. And I'm picking up a feeling of, this is an interesting card. Look at this card. The Three of Wands. I'm telling you, they're dark. Well, I'm picking up, because I have the Seven of Swords, which is the thief. I'm picking up, okay, it feels like misused funds. Misused, she's up for Congress sanction? Well, what does that mean exactly? Hang on a second. Can I speak to somebody here? K-Hold. If you say still no effing subtitles on my videos, that's rude. I'm deaf in one ear. I am very sensitive to people who cannot, hear well and need closed captioning or need it for some other reason. It's not deliberate. I need to look it up. So if you say no effing subtitles, this is free, and I don't appreciate that kind of language on my channel. Thank you very much. Here we go. I will fix that if I figure out how. Thank you. I'm perfectly willing to accommodate people. I have no problem with that. But, I've heard from that person before, and I responded that they did come on after a while, so I don't know. I don't work for YouTube. Okay, so Elise funded George Santos, so probably campaign. Yeah, it feels like misuse of campaign funds. She's in trouble. They can have closed captioning on their end. Thank you for clearing that up for me. You guys are awesome. Can I just take a moment? You guys are awesome. Thank you for being so supportive and loving. It's a love fest. We have a nice little clique. It's a love fest. If you're new, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up, and everyone hit the thumbs up, and that'd be great. Liz Cheney is riding Elise pretty hard. That's good. And Liz Cheney, I know she has a law background. Liz Cheney is going to make sure that these people, I'm picking this up. Liz Cheney is not going to stop. Liz Cheney is like a pit bull. Once she grabs onto something, she is going with it. Let's do, who's the other one? Rhonda McDaniel. Right? Do I have her last name right? Rhonda? Those two are very similar. Oh, we have a dad joke. Hang on, let's do a dad joke first so I can chill out. Why did the word awesome go to therapy? It wanted to work on its issues with being too overwhelming. I guess I have to switch sides of my brain. Rhonda McDaniel. Sweet niece of Romney. She can't lie either. She's a terrible liar. Yeah, Liz Cheney's, it's going to be, she's going to glom on. She's going to, honestly, she's going to be just like a pit bull. She won't let go. I have read on the Texas standoff. I have read on it. I'm not going to keep reading on what's going on at the border. In lieu of that, what I'm going to do is ask you to please go to under videos and do that very brief meditation to send light there, because we are in charge of what happens there. That is my guidance to tell you. We are in charge with our thoughts of what's going on at the border. We are in charge of sending light there to stop any potential violence. It's up to us. And this is what I mean when I say we have to all be paying attention. We all have to keep taking care of ourselves, because, you know, I even heard somebody on MSNBC say something really irresponsible. I don't know what his name was, but I think he's on a lot on MSNBC. And I heard him kind of in the background, and he said something like, it's going to be a year of a lot of violence. And I was like, do not do that. Do not be telling the collective consciousness, oh, this year is going to be very violent, because you're setting it up. So no, I'm not going to read on the Texas border. I have read on it already, and that's my guidance, is that we have to change it. Yeah, and think positive. You know, like, I mean, people have been saying, oh, November, the astrology is terrible, it's going to be a you-know-what show. And I'm like, nope, delete. I'm not going there. It's not responsible. And I understand that people don't understand that. So I'm doing my best to educate everybody. Closed caption is unavailable on live but can be available on replay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was right. Cancel, clear, delete. Rhonda McDaniel. She also gets the Three of Wands, the snake that's being stabbed with 3 spears. Seems like they're all involved in the same criminal troupe. Yes, it does. 5 of Swords. Oh, Rhonda McDaniel. Oh my God. And actually, I'm picking up that her uncle Mitt, they probably don't speak anymore, but I don't think he's letting this go. I don't think Mitt Romney's letting this go. This is his niece making a mockery of the United States. What is this? The 2 of Cups. Rhonda McDaniel is going to have to tone it down. Is it McDaniels or McDaniel? I think it does. I think there's no S on it. Yeah, so she gets the same card, the 3 of Wands, as Elise Stefanik, the 5 of Swords. And she's got a lot of tough lessons coming to her, Rhonda McDaniel. I think she's losing sleep at night. Do you like these cards, Amy? They're a little dark. They have characters, they have names of historic figures beneath them, and they had a Bridget Bishop, the witch hanging. I didn't like that. That was a 10 of Swords. Anyway, so we're using these. Is Rhonda McDaniel, not Ronald McDonald. Stop it. Mormons are super political. I kind of feel like her uncle Mitt is going to read her the riot act. I really do. Because she's also involved. I'm going to ask the pendulum, are Rhonda and Elise, because I'm getting the same 3 of Wands, are they involved in the same crime? Yes. Electra Strong. She's singing the Ronald McDonald song. Oh, I didn't see that Lauren Boebert came in 5th in the polls. I didn't see that. Out of how many? She was awful. Yes, Damon, these are the cards with the 2 hot dudes. These cards have 3 versions of the lover card. There's a lesbian lover card, there's a gay male couple lover card, and then there's a heterosexual one. She came in 6 out of 8, Boebert. Hobart is going down. All right, well, since we have the dark cards, let's read on her. Lauren Boebert. McDaniel, there's no S, right? Darren has hamburgers on her mind, really? Oh, from Ronald McDonald. Hang on. I bet in school, I bet in elementary school, people made fun of her, unless that's her married. That might be her married name. McDaniel. Ronald McDonald. Okay, I'm reading on Boebert. What's the fate of Boebert? Oh, there's a strong case against her. Oh, not good. Oh, not good. The thing with Lauren Boebert, her past is coming back to haunt her. See what I mean? You'll see what I mean. They're so dark. They're boiling him! Thomas Baker. It looks like Thomas Baker. I'm just off the top of my head looking at this card. Alright, this is about Lauren Boebert. Well, this kind of speaks for itself, right? If I look up the name Thomas Baker, I'll find out the history of him. It's in my little book. But we don't have time for that right now. Yeah, Boebert is too many strong forces against Lauren Boebert, and they're building a case against her. There's a case being built against her, and she's going to be boiling in the cauldron. And 6 of the people running for that House seat have been arrested in Colorado. Thank you for pointing that out, because I thought that was horrifying. No, I didn't switch cards when you were out of the room. These are still the same cards. I am going to switch cards, because these are the cards that I'm reading for the dark people. I'm meaning the evil people. Yeah, the questioner at the debate in Colorado, I guess it's the 4th district, that Lauren Boebert was involved in. I love the way she says things, and she articulates her words really amazingly to pretend like she's intelligent. And she's not saying anything. She's not saying anything. Dark souls need dark cards, yep. Let's see how it's going to go for her, for Boebert. I've kind of already looked at this, but let's see. Is Lauren Boebert going to lose really badly? Is she going to lose really badly? It looks like she's going to lose really badly. Is Lauren Boebert going to just drop out of the... Yeah, she's just going to drop out. And I have seen... They asked her to spell carpetbagger. I thought they asked her what it meant. Oh, she's done. I have seen her in jail. Alright, well, I have the dark cards. Anybody else dark you want to read on? Meaning not good. I know, that's a good question. I was wondering that myself. Why did the DOJ subpoena House of Representatives documents? I was wondering about that too. The article that I read wasn't very specific. Where is the fascist? Was he missing? My first thought when I saw that the DOJ... Let me see. What did you read? They subpoenaed House Representative documents, but they didn't say what documents, what kind of documents. But my first impression was it's starting to happen, like a little small fire that's starting to burn, that's kind of creeping in. It was a grand jury subpoena, but they didn't say who it went to for misuse of campaign funds, but who? Once you screw up, there's no friends, there's no way to lean on anybody. Yeah, I am seeing the past coming back to haunt a lot of these people. But anyway, back to the debate in Colorado. I think there were 8 or 9 people on the panel up for election for the representing the 4th District 4 in Colorado. I don't know a lot about Colorado. Jack Smith requested those documents. Yeah, we can look at that. Well, maybe we'll look at it Wednesday when we know a little bit The questioner said, has anybody here ever been arrested? This was despicable. And this really makes me want to just like throw my whole self into the ring and like, you get off the stage. They were proud that they had been arrested. Is this, yeah, Boebert said she had a minor traffic issue. Then they started to compare like what they've been arrested for. If you were arrested and you were running for a public office, would you be high-fiving the other people? Wouldn't you be appalled that the other people were saying, yeah, they proudly saying they had been arrested? If you're not angry, you're not paying attention, right? Remember that old protest sign? We might be done with the dark cards, except that I have to read on Matt Gaetz. They're proud to be arrested. The Law and Order Party, right? The lawless party. I'll never forget, when the loser was illegitimately occupying the White House during the Black Lives Matter protests, when he was like, this is the party of law and order. In the meantime, he's sending the military, the National Guard out to pepper spray protesters that were peaceful. I'm telling you what. Okay, one more. One more dark person. Matt Gaetz. Dark cards for Gaetz. I really see Kevin McCarthy. I mean, they are starting to go after one another. They really are. This is just the beginning, is what I'm hearing. I'm not letting go of what I saw with Matt Gaetz. I was very shocked when the DOJ said they were dropping the case last year, because I didn't feel like it was dropped. I didn't feel like that was the end. Matt Gaetz, fate. The fate of Gaetz. There's that strength card again. There's a strong case against him. And we have Vlad Dracula. Vlad Dracula, the King of Wands. Oh, somebody's speaking out strongly. Oh yeah. Oh, Mr. Gaetz is not going to be able to get away with his crimes. I got the other night that he would not be unseated for this right away, but he will be unseated. I think it's just going to take a little while. His buddy went to prison. I know. I don't know why those losers got a round of applause for being lawbreakers. Yeah, that's because we all need to run for something. I can't, because that would be a literal witch hunt. But you all need to run for something. I'm here to guide you through. When you see those kinds of people in charge of people's lives. When you see those kinds of people in charge of the fate of millions of people's lives. And like the loser himself has blood on his hands, that's for sure, in so many ways. You feel like the house is starting to fall already? Cheryl's saying the house is starting to fall. We'll go with that. Let's go to the Aquarian Tarot. I have my little cards. My little cards disappeared. That's how little they are. Remember, Midas touches on. Fox News has lots of blood on their hands. I agree with you. Yeah, McCarthy's getting revenge for what Matt did to him, and he's really determined. He's really determined. You think Nikki Haley's going to cause a split in the party? Well, let me say about Nikki Haley, I hope she stays in. I hope she stays in for as long as she possibly can. Let's actually read on that. Her policies are heinous, but just for the sake, I would do it. If I were her and the loser was getting that upset. And by the way, her husband is deployed. Nikki Haley's husband is deployed. I'm not sure exactly where. Might be, I don't know, Iraq maybe? But when the soldiers were killed over the weekend, I felt like that gave Nikki Haley more resolve. Because let us not forget that the loser boot spur, what's his bone spur loser, called soldiers who died fighting for democracy suckers and losers. So I think that kind of, gave Nikki a little bit of more oomph since her husband is deployed overseas. I don't know which rank he is in the military. Yeah, I'm going to ask how it's going to go for her. I don't want her to quit after South Carolina. And they're all acting so like, oh, she's going to lose terribly in her home state. And I'm like, well, why are you all saying that? And plus she has the Koch brothers funding her. And, mark my words, if Nikki Haley stays on the campaign trail, and I think that she will, because I feel a stronger inner resolve that's being reinforced. I feel a strong inner resolve with her. And now that these soldiers are getting killed, she's dug in. I feel like she's dug in, and she's going to get a lot of women that hate the loser to get out to vote. Many of Amy's family members are proud veterans. Were you here when we did a moment of silence for the soldiers that were killed? I'm not so sure that she's going to do terribly in South Carolina. I'm not so sure of that. I don't know why they're acting so sure of that. Because women hate the loser, unless they're in the cult. Yeah, she has a role to play, and her role to play is to be that little pebble in the loser's shoe. Lifts and all. They're falling for the hype? What are you talking about? What hype? Yeah, they're saying that she's going to do terrible, she's going to lose her state, she's going to lose it bad. That's what they're saying on the news. And then here I'm thinking, the loser has really angered so many women getting up there and going, oh, I'm so proud that Roe got taken away. As he's being accused of, having to pay $83.3 million for raping a woman. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Hello. This is how she's going to do. She's going to disrupt him. She's going to disrupt his ass. The Tower card. Fast moving energy. The Tower card. She's going to go ballistic. Okay, so we have his title here. Michael Haley, Major, South Carolina National Guard. But he's deployed somewhere right now. I'm pretty sure I heard that he's overseas. Don't think for 1 second that there are more women going out to vote. There are more women voters than men. And there are a whole lot of men voters who don't want to see women's rights being taken away and who are angry at the loser for being a rapist. Hello? He's in Africa, her husband. Good for him. Good for him. I mean, you got to give her credit for marrying a good guy. Anyway, she has horrible policies, and I don't think she's really that brilliant. And she couldn't hold a candle to Joe Biden. But still, I really want to see her stay in. The Ten of Pentacles. She's going to disrupt his little, you-know-what. 7 million turn 18 7 million people turn 18 by November. And this is a 10 of Pentacles. She's going to be raking in the dough. This is going to be an upset. That she's going to be raking in so much money. I'm so angry at the loser. I would actually throw $20 into her till. I would. There are so many reasons for hating the loser. Pick one. Yep, absolutely. And I do feel today he's crashing. He is crashing. And she's hoping to win by default with the loser either going to jail by then or the loser being so. I said it. I called it. As soon as he threw his hat in the ring to run for president, I said, when I really looked at it and I read on it, I said, that man is going to be so busy in court. I don't see how he can campaign and be in court dealing with all this court drama. I don't see how he'd be effective at all. And people will be voting in massive numbers. Yes, and 45 won't debate. He's afraid. And that's why they were trying to push him in. They were trying to push him in. They were trying to say, oh, let's just jump over the primaries. Let's just install him. Remember Friday I was talking about that? That was crazy. He won't debate because he's a coward, and he also can't debate. Can you imagine him standing up there with Joe Biden and a question comes and he says, and the loser will say, well, you know, people ask me, how do you put your pants on in the morning? Honestly. He said the most ridiculous things. He doesn't want to show how stupid he is. Group hug time. We did a group hug. Were you not here? I'm going to read on Joe Biden. I'm going to read on... Okay, I'm not going to read on the serious stuff. I'm going to read on the support around Biden. Trump couldn't put two sentences together, and everything that they're saying, everything he says about Joe Biden, the loser, everything the loser says about Joe Biden, he's doing that. And, yeah, the loser's up there. Car, woman, elephant, giraffe, whale. Can you imagine? Can you imagine running for the most powerful office in the world and being up there on a rally saying, I passed the test. I passed the cognitive test. I'm sorry, Joe Biden could... Does he really think Joe Biden couldn't? I mean, it's making a mockery of the United States. Okay, as far as Joe Biden goes, there's a lot going on with Joe Biden that's in secret. Understandably, he needs to be doing things when it comes to, the world stage and everything that's going on. We'll do a group hug, Thomas. We'll do another one. Joe Biden, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. They're trying to figure out what to do, how to retaliate in ways that aren't going to escalate what's going on over in Iran and Jordan. So there's a lot going. There's so much. Yeah, we'll do a group hug after tea. Doesn't he realize the world is laughing at him? No. Well, what the loser does is he projects that onto the Biden administration. He projects that onto Biden. So the loser will say, the world is laughing at America, and then they're laughing at him. He's a sick, sick, sick man. The loser. I love calling him the loser. Can you tell? I barely say his name anymore. So Joe Biden has a lot going on behind the scenes to help the situation. I'm just going to say it. Joe Biden is doing everything possible for this, to prevent the world from going into a third world war. And the magician is, Joe Biden is doing, I'm telling you, on Friday I was saying, I think the man is a miracle worker. I don't know how he's doing what he's doing. And the Knight of Rods. It's really heavy on Joe Biden's heart, understandably. I love when he says at the end of any of his speeches, and may God protect our troops. So he really is, I'm feeling like he's talking to Mayorkas, who the stupid idiot S&M, stupid and mean fascist Republicans have Mayorkas, they're trying to impeach him. We have such important things to tend to right now, and that's what they're doing. But I think he's talking to Mayorkas about how they're going to kind of supersede, jump over this craziness. It keeps popping into my mind that there must be something that Joe Biden can do, and the guides are saying there is something that he is doing to, like an executive kind of decision or executive order to get our national security back up. He never wanted to be a war president. So sad, but he's doing it. I'm sure everybody that gets elected president doesn't want to be a war president. Who would want that? When you think about it. Okay, I'm gonna pull 3 community cards, and then we're gonna do tea. And as I said, Mondays we like to watch Midas Touch. And we're gonna do a group hug. And by the way, I hear other people say that Biden doesn't have dementia. Scratch that. I hear other people say that Trump doesn't have dementia. I just said Biden because I was talking about Biden. Midas Touch is on at 8. Are you trying to get me to stay on longer? Yeah, every time that soldier gets lost, he loses bow in his mind all the time. Biden does. I'm going to just pull 3 cards to tie us over, and then we'll read some tea leaves and we'll do a group hug. Okay, so please join Grassroots of Democracy. Trump can't put together a coherent sentence. Just listen to him. It's unbelievable. 3 community cards. Remember last week I told you it was going to be a big week last week in terms of the loser? It really was, and it continues. Focus on the United States of America coming back strong and healed. Because we have that within us. There are tons and tons and tons of people in the United States right now that are working very hard to save democracy. I have my postcards here that I have to get out in the next few days for Tom Suozzi to be elected into taking over George Santos' seat. Lots and lots. Simon Rosenberg is doing so much. Jessica Craven. There's just so many organizations. So take heart. The United States is strong. We are strong as a nation. I know you hear only about the MAGA and the losers and the potential for violence and the stochastic terrorism and crazy loser, but don't lose sight of how much strength we have as a collective. Keep sending light to the border. The Knight of Rods and Knight of Pentacles. I feel like this week we're going to see some truth coming out, actual truth coming out that will blow up the lies, because it will be undeniable that these, like Fox and everything, have been lying. I just see something big breaking. It might have something to do. I do see stories lately about how these fascists are taking credit for bills that they said no on, like the infrastructure bill and the CHIPS Act. And okay, so I do see the good news just blotting them out, blotting out the MAGAs. Let's do a group hug right now so I don't forget, and then I'll take a look at the tea leaves, which seems to have gone into a clump. Group hug! You guys are the best. You're awesome. Anyway, sometimes there's stuff in the chat that I'm like, okay, you lost me. In the tea leaves, we have in Mercury. Okay, this is not necessarily an image as much as it feels like 2 energies that are kind of almost shaking hands, that are kind of meet. It reminds me of the 2 of Cups. So Mercury is like, this is kind of what I was just seeing. I'm seeing this energy of like faux news just finally just surrendering some stuff like, well, okay, all right, we lied about that, or they wouldn't say that, but just, seeing eye to eye. Come into agreement about certain things. And that's starting to happen too with the economy. How long can you say the economy's not good when there's all this Dow Jones and, inflation is down and jobs are up and all these people and the auto workers, they're strong, or union strong, or people are coming back. You can't hide that forever. Action ramping up in the Smartmatics defamation case against... Oh, is that imminent, or is that going to take a long time with the Smartmatics case? Because I just see that, in the place of Mercury, it feels to me like two hands shaking. Like, okay, all right, you won. Like that. Oh, that's happening now. Oh, good. I didn't know the schedule on that. So, yeah, it's kind of like surrendering. I like the feel of that. And I see a person here. Oh, interesting. I don't think you can see this, but there's a person. It looks like a person sitting there talking to somebody. This has to do with the Middle East and actually talks being fruitful. Talks being fruitful in the Middle East. I'm seeing Tony Blinken when I look at this. I feel like Netanyahu is going to be arrested in the near future. We're going to change that. It is terrible. What Lois is saying is terrible that we don't have more people talking about how good things are. You see Bigfoot? Whatever you see is what you see. We all see differently. Maybe Bigfoot's in your woods over there. Don't be scared. Anyway, if you'd like to book a reading at psychicannetteDion.com. Also, you want to have democracy or not? Join us at grassrootsofdemocracy.com, because the alternative to democracy is not pretty. Can he be arrested now, please? Yeah. That'd be good. Yeah, he can. People are reporting that their money's doing good. That's awesome. Book a reading. Free class based on my book, The 7-Day Key to Living Inspiration and Empowerment. 7 Saturdays in a row, starting on the new moon. February is Thursday. February starts on Thursday. Love you too. It starts February 10th through March 24th. It's only a 45-minute class. 12 noon to 12:45 Eastern time. Sign up for the class. It's free. February 1st is Groundhog Eve, right? It's in bulk. Winter doldrums reading. Yeah, winter doldrums is right. We have had no sunshine. Yeah, February 1st is Groundhog Eve. And it's in bulk too. I was going to go away if I could manage it for a couple days, but we'll see. I would still come on. How do I get more energy? If you have that question on your mind, you should book one of these special sessions. PsychicAnnetteDion.com. It's a powerful time. It's a powerful week. It's a very powerful week because it's not only Groundhog Day, it's also in bulk, which is a really kind of a minor Sabbath in the Wiccan tradition. And also, it's the Feast of St. Bridget and Candlemas, right? It's a time to light candles. Make sure you blow them out afterwards or snuff them. How do you get more energy? I just told you, PsychicAnnetteDion.com. That's what I have for you. I love you guys. Please stay in touch. Go to my website. And love you lots. There's so much news going on, but we are going to get through it together. We're doing good. All right. Namaste. See ya.